So time does not heal all wounds. I wish it worked that way. It'd be great if it did, but it does not. Brain science tells us something completely different. Every time you play an emotional hurt or an emotional wound, your brain partially recreates the experience. Your brain is doing this to you, okay? That's because emotional memories don't behave like ordinary memories. It doesn't work that way. They activate many of the same brain regions involved when the event first occurred. So think about this for a minute, okay? You remember that betrayal. You remember, it's already there. You got it. And humiliation. You remember that one? Deep criticism, maybe the apology you never received. I have a lot of apologies I've never received. Suddenly, maybe your heart races, your stomach tightens, your shoulders tense, your emotions return as quickly as they did the first time. It could be a sound, it could be a smell that will trigger that response. That's because your brain isn't just remembering. That's not what your brain's doing. It's reactivating an emotional experience. It's just reanimating it. You've heard this term before. It's called rumination. You're actually ruminating. It's the repeated replaying of painful experiences, conversations, or events. And the more often we rehearse these memories, because we're rehearsing them as we're ruminating, the stronger and more automatic those neural pathways become. Okay, so imagine walking through a grassy field. You're going through a grassy field. The first time the grass is tall and the path is difficult. But as you keep walking the same route, every day, eventually a trail appears. It becomes the easiest path to take. That's exactly what our brains are doing. The more often you revisit an emotional wound, the easier it becomes for your brain to travel that pathway. And that's why I keep talking about the same story over and over and over and over and over again does not serve you. Now, I'm not talking about when you're actually working through some stuff and doing some grief work. Trust me, I get this conversation. I'm an incest survivor. I've done a lot of work around being molested as a kid, right? And my conversations now are so different over time. And eventually it's going to be one comment, one facial expression, or a tone. For me, it smells can trigger a reaction that has more to do with the past than what's going on right now. Now, here's where most of us have been taught things that simply aren't true about forgiveness. We've been taught that forgiveness is something you do for the other person. We hear that. It's very cliche. What if forgiveness is more about something you do for yourself? You've heard that before too. Doing it in practice is very different than knowing it. Forgiveness doesn't erase a painful betrayal memory. It doesn't erase it. It doesn't excuse what happened, not even close. It doesn't require reconciliation. You don't even have to hang out with them anymore. You don't have to trust them, and you're not abandoning justice. But it may interrupt the endless rehearsal of the pain. And I'm talking, and you know it. It's a difference between grieving and suffering. Grieving and suffering. Grieving hurts, and it's forward motion. Suffering is that replaying in those neural pathways. So instead of allowing your brain to keep reopening the same emotional wound, forgiveness begins changing your relationship with the memory. That's really what's going on. The event doesn't change. The event is still part of your story, but it no longer has control over your emotional response every time it surfaces. One of the most incomplete things about forgiveness is that we've learned incompleteness about forgiveness. It's never quite all the way there. There's so many parts and pieces. It's a very complicated, emotionally intelligent skill. Once we start really understanding what forgiveness is doing in the brain, we begin to see it in a completely different way. And you're actually creating new neural pathways, which is very cool. And I plan on doing a lot more about forgiveness now. For those of you that don't know, we have a movement that's called Project Forgive, non-religious, non-partisan. And we teach a lot about forgiveness using academic research. It's very science-based. We reach millions on Facebook. And we just started adding more and more info. And for those that don't know, I want to do and add some material about the apology you'll never receive, which is an exquisite tool that I'll be adding here on YouTube. It's one of the tools that we were nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. It's really cool and it really works. So I will keep you updated as we start doing more of the apology you'll never receive. Okay, I'm cheering you on. I'll see you soon. Mwah.